How can I start this review? Well, if I was the woman that Jason Derulo wrote this song for, as suggested in the chorus, I'd kick him in the nuts and tell him to try harder. I know, how ironic, right? For all that I complained about Talk Dirty, Trumpet is the worst song Jason Derulo has ever done. Never mind the fact that he doesn't know how drums operate, because they certainly don't swing low. The verses are so embarrassing, one can't help but facepalm and peer through their fingers at how bad they are. All he does is state that he hears noises in his head every time his woman of his affection does some random activity, then asks whether it's weird that certain aspects of her remind him of a song by artists way better than him, and yes, I am saying that Katy Perry is better than Jason Derulo. Apparently her ass reminds him of a Kanye West song, her eyes remind him of a Coldplay song, and her bra reminds him of a Katy Perry song. Not only is it hilarious that the trumpets are synthetic, but the music is crap. It's this constant whooping noise over a drum beat that doesn't alter once. The music dies down into piano chords to try and give some sort of resonance, but everything about this song is so laughable to think that anyone would find this song charming or think that it's being sincere. It's a laughingstock onto the charts, and the sooner it goes away the better, because the less we have to hear of Jason Derulo's squealing vocal delivery in the chorus section, which sends the annoyance meter into overdrive on this song, will be too soon. The last time Beyonce and Jay-Z collaborated, they gave us Crazy in Love, a fun, up-tempo, upbeat, catchy song that was addictive as hell and I actually found rather enjoyable. 11 years later, the two of them have collaborated again, and the result is a gratuitous mess of a song that is the absolute reverse of Crazy in Love. This is the track you've all been waiting for, people. The track where Beyonce tries to write like a bloke, and it's truly embarrassing when you see the results. She tries to make drunken sex sound appealing and sensuous, and she comes off as tawdry and talentless. Typical uninspired lyrics listing off car brands, expensive alcohol names, and lyrics that don't even connect with one another or tell a cohesive story. Fill the tub up halfway, then ride it with my surfboard. Context? Anyone? But then Jay-Z shows up and takes the song to a completely different level, and not in a good sense. The first 2/3 of the verse is bad enough, and then it conjures up something what I can only describe as disgusting. Catch a charge I might, beat the box up like Mike, in 97 I bite. I'm Ike Turner, turn up, baby no I don't play, now eat that cake Annie Mae. Real classy, Jay, real classy. Just let that sink in, people. The instrumentation is this dull, slurry, unlistenable, squealing, thudding crap that doesn't change at all and is enough to annoy the piss out of anyone. If this is supposed to make drunken sex sound pleasant, these two missed the mark by light years. Hey Brother is the third single released from Avicii's debut album True, featuring the vocals from American bluegrass singer Dan Tyminski, who is uncredited on this track. This is Avicii's attempt to capture lightning in a bottle twice in a row. His previous release of Wake Me Up is commonly known for its country-style instrumentation laced with an electronic dance beat, and whilst this song has done very well for itself, being in the UK charts for 19 weeks and holding a top 10 position for roughly half that. And whilst I prefer Wake Me Up to Hey Brother, I can't deny that this song is equally as addictive, catchy and enjoyable. The hook line is distinctive, which is a rarity nowadays, and the use of a drum beat, piano and trumpets mixed with the bluegrass guitar creates something that's a breath of fresh air. Avicii definitely has a talent for creating great transitions and merging two genres together seemingly effortlessly, and hopefully this encourages people to listen to more bluegrass. Neon Jungle is a new girl group that has arrived onto the scene and is celebrating their highest charting song to date. Braveheart is an EDM track that is essentially a club anthem, so a surefire way to get you on the charts. Unsurprisingly, the song doesn't do much for me. The beat certainly isn't horrendous, but it is kind of annoying. It isn't distinct and has this ear-grating grinding sound through intermittent parts of the track, as well as a bleeping addition that only adds to the song's annoyance. I would call this pretty average if it wasn't for about 2/3 of the way in. Ignoring the fact that before the beat stops, the lyrics are slurred so you can't understand what is being sung, and I use that in the most minimal of contexts. We have a rap section that's pretty embarrassing. It only lasts about 20 seconds, but this really shoots this song down in my estimation. Whilst it contains the usual bragging segments, which, personally, if you've only been on the scene for 5 minutes and you're bragging about yourselves, you're already setting yourself up for some backlash. As well as bragging about being rich, again, being on the scene for 5 minutes, wearing expensive perfume, carrying an LV, which I assume is a Louis Vuitton, and wearing Jay's trainers. The one lyric that proves to be less than classy is, "Talking about fresh, we talking about lettuce," to which the singer later emphasises, how many girls you know rock lettuce like this? For those of you who are uninitiated, and good on you, lettuce is slang for female genitals. So basically they're saying that they're rocking with their pussies hanging out. I can instantly tell that these are some classy girls we're dealing with here. Although Katy B has never done anything for me in the past, her stuff has just sort of got muddled in with the other dance pop tracks, and like all other dance tracks, they don't distinguish themselves from the next. Crying for No Reason is different. It starts off as a piano ballad before breaking out into a dance pop track. The transition is done very well, and the song itself is a surprise from Miss B, and in a good way. The vocal delivery matches the tone of the music and is different from what Katy has released in the past. Whilst I feel that some of the lines could have been cleaned up since it's supposed to be a song about being depressed for no reason, despite the fact that later on in the song it alludes to the idea that Katy has burned bridges of a previous relationship which she seems torn up about despite the verses, it doesn't detract away that this is easily one of the best songs in the top 10 at this moment in time. Created by deep house acts from North London Gorgon City, featuring the vocals from MNEK, Ready For Your Love is surprisingly a nicely put together track. The music here is very downplayed and stripped back, and it works very well with MNEK's vocals, which are very warm, distinct, and considering this guy is 19 years old, he definitely has a very mature voice for someone his age. This track could have easily come in and bashed you over the head with something loud, ear-aching and obnoxious. Instead, it's a very chilled and relaxing beat that doesn't overshadow the lyrical delivery. The chorus repeats, "I'm ready for your love," whilst the verses uses imagery that creates feelings of euphoria and free spirit. Although the line, "I'm ready to belong, you shook my cares," definitely could have been cleaned up, and some rhymes for that matter, I think this is a great little number that sets the stage for a young talent who definitely deserves more work. I don't know how close this song was to being number one, but all I can say is thank God that the British public restrained themselves. In fairness, the song is bad, but not on the same level as Scream and Shout and #thatpower. The beat to some Will.i.am songs always turn out to be the best thing on his tracks, and here the bass line isn't that bad. Whilst it's repetitive and doesn't change at all, it's one of those ascending then descending bass lines that gets stuck in your head and doesn't leave your subconscious. Other than that, the lyrics are uninspiring, as to be expected. Will.i.am brags about rising from the bottom and bragging about how he's got expensive jewellery, cars, and how good looking he is. Oh, and the lyric, "She gives me IQ, that means she gives me head." IQ is to do with your brain, genius. And the guest appearances are just as bad. French Montana's contribution is repeating what Will said, getting head, money, cars, and Shakira for some reason, and steals a couple of lines from the song Fucking Problems. So yeah, less than impressed. What else would I expect from the guy who appeared on Band's I Make Her Dance? Miley Cyrus is rehashing her usual "I'm a wild party girl who shakes her bony non-existent arse and no one can do it better than I can," and throwing out another ecstasy reference, because that's not getting boring, is it? And Wiz Khalifa returns from wherever he was hiding from, and Sir fucking Prize also raps about alcohol, cars, drugs, and spending loads of money on jewellery. And people say that mainstream rap is getting worse. You know, there's another rap song in the charts at that moment by Busta Rhymes featuring Q-Tip, Kanye West and Lil Wayne, and that song is awesome and has only peaked at number 13. And Feeling Myself debuts at number 2. I sound like a broken record when I say that I shouldn't be shocked, but come on people, come on. Arriving onto the scene in 2012, deep house act Clean Bandit's chart impact has been very minimal. Their first 3 releases made little, if any, impact on the singles charts. However, they recently celebrated their second week at number 1 with Rather Be, with guest vocals from Jess Glynn, and very much deservedly in my opinion. The music is typical house music, but it's so chilled and laced with occasional piano and strings that gives this track a very uplifting and high-spirited sound that it makes for a really enjoyable track. The lyrics are about the protagonist's journey with her love interest, how much she loves being in their company, and that there's no place that she would rather be than with him. Yeah, some false lyrics here and there, along with a couple of lines that don't quite make sense when reading them, but thankfully it doesn't detract away from how enjoyable the song is. Overall, its addictive beat, great vocals and smooth delivery offers an enjoyable, upbeat and sweet little number that is a pleasant change from the head-pounding EDM that clogs up the charts.